Hey, how you doing over there? I've got a question I want to ask. Have you ever reached the end of the day and quietly thought, I don't think anyone noticed? Not in a resentful way, not because you wanted a big clap or a round of applause, just you realized how much energy you'd given and how invisible it all seemed. Maybe you've packed lunches, answered messages, checked in on people, worked late, held everything together, and somehow the day ended without anyone knowing quite how much of you it had taken. If that feels familiar, I'd like to stay with it for a little while. There's something interesting about effort. The biggest efforts are often the ones nobody sees. People notice birthdays, promotions, achievements, loud, flamboyant. What they don't always notice are the thoughts behind them, the conversations you replayed before speaking, the deep breath before walking through the front door, the smile you managed to find even though today wasn't your best day. Those things rarely receive recognition, yet they can require enormous strength. Perhaps that's one reason emotional exhaustion can be so confusing. From the outside, life might look completely manageable. Inside, oof, you've been carrying far more than anyone realizes. Not because people don't care, sometimes simply because they don't know. Brennan Brown has a quote that's stayed with me. People are hard to hate close up. Move in. I've often thought that applies beyond conflict. The closer we get to someone's inner world, the more we realize how much they're carrying that never reaches the surface. Maybe that's true for the people around you. Maybe it's also true for you. I wonder what it's like hearing that. Not because it changes your day or does anything dramatic, but because sometimes being reminded that invisible effort still counts can feel strangely relieving. It's easy to fall into the habit of measuring our contribution by whether somebody acknowledges it. That's understandable. Yeah? We all want to feel appreciated. But perhaps there are moments when the value of what you've done isn't reduced simply because nobody commented on it. A parent comforting a child in the middle of the night, a friend check in their phone just to make sure somebody gets home safely, someone sitting beside a loved one in the hospital. Those moments don't always become stories, they're simply acts of care, quiet ones. Maybe today's conversation isn't really about recognition. Maybe it's about remembering that some of the most meaningful things we do happen without an audience. That doesn't make them smaller. If anything, it often makes them more genuine. Just notice where your mind has settled over the last few minutes. You don't need to change anything, don't need to decide anything. Sometimes being seen begins with noticing your own experience rather than waiting for someone else to notice it first. If today's conversation felt personal, I hope it also felt gentle. Because if you've been carrying more than people realize, perhaps the first person who deserves to acknowledge that is you. I'll leave you with that thought. Until next time, take care.